All right, so today I'm checking in with a special guest. We spoke a while back, and I'm checking back in to see where things are at and where we're going. So I got Wes with me with Regina Windshield Repair. So let's get right to it, man. How have things been?
Awesome. Last we spoke was probably about 3 years ago, I think.
Right. So
yeah, and since then we've grown like crazy lots. When we first start off,
that's really good. So let's touch base on that. So we spoke a while back, and a lot of people, they get into the windshield repair industry because they're trying to they either lost their job or trying to supplement some income or start a new career, or they just get into it not knowing what to expect. So it's good to hear, like, you were in it 3 years ago. So you've been doing repairs before COVID, during COVID, and right now. So kind of, can you touch base on like what you were doing before COVID and what you did when COVID hit in regards to windshield repair?
Yeah. So the first year, like the first 3 years pre-COVID, was just the one. We had a permanent tent location. So if people want to look at our Facebook and Instagram, they'll see that we have a 10 by 12 permanent tent location that's set up there year round. But we weren't working outside year round. We would do that April till November 1st. And that was it. So, and it was a side hustle for us. It wasn't our main bread and butter.
Right.
Carrie Lynn was a project manager for a couple large corporations, and then she got laid off due to COVID. And then she was like, well, we already had our second location, and then gearing up to our third, which we did last July.
Okay.
The two locations, mid-COVID are pop-up tent locations. So those now have really grown because we're the faces of it every day.
Right.
And we were giving people that's a customer, service that they like. So, and helped us grow.
Yeah. And so we have the one permanent location. We call it permanent because it's a permanent tent and shed.
Right.
But we still have to pay attention to Saskatchewan weather. So we have one location that's year 5. It was just finishing year 5. Our one location where I work at now that was our 3rd year in business, and Wes, where he's been working at, is now our 2nd year in business. So we have 3 locations, but we're on our 5th year in business, starting our 6th next year.
Well, that's what's up. That's what's up, to give people encouragement. A lot of people, they get in windshield repair. The number one question is, can I make a living doing this? Is it profitable? I always tell people, you get what you put into things, and you got to have a plan. You got to put the hard work in, because hard work and dedication, that's undefeated. It doesn't just come to you. So give us a couple of tips on like what was your mindset like on going from one location to growth? Did tell me some things that worked for you.
Sure. So the first 3 years, it was kind of like, let's see, let's make mistakes and let's see what works and what doesn't, and who to hire and who not to hire. Location is always key, like high traffic areas. Good visibility, easy access. Those were what we were looking for when we wanted our second location. And we found our second one was PV Mart, which would be the equivalent to your like Ace Hardware.
Okay.
And that really, there's like 60,000 cars that go by there every day. So that's already a high visibility, easy access. Carrie Lynn runs that one now. And then when we did a pop-up one. And so I kind of, look on Facebook and creep around other companies to see what they're doing in terms of pop-up tents and setups like that. And then when we did our third one, like July, mid-COVID, so it was like, okay, now we found the mall. Same thing with this mall location. It's right across from a Canadian Tire, which would be the equivalent to like a Target for you guys, kind of thing like that. And then, there's a couple high visibility, like high traffic restaurants in the area. So same thing, right at the corner of the lights, easy access. There's 22,000 cars a day that go by there. But because of those 3 things that I mentioned, the restaurants, the high visibility, and that Target Canadian Tire right there, it's a high flow area, people coming in all the time. So they'll park their car, go into the store, and then I'm doing the repair and they come back. So it's a win-win for the mall and for us.
Right.
So, yeah, it's been really good.
And so at that location, there's no competition in that end of the city for chip repair.
Okay.
So that location has been like phenomenal for us. The location I'm at, excuse me, there's actually 3 of us chip repair companies all within like a 4-minute drive.
Okay.
But we're the first ones coming into the city, and we're on the #1 highway.
Okay.
So even lots of our customers have said, this is a great spot. We get to pull right in. We're coming in from the farm or out of town.
Mm-hmm.
So location is huge, 100%.
Always.
So there you go. Location and doing your research. Nothing's wrong with doing the research. You got to know what you're going up against. So those are some good tips for people. Research to know where you want to be, why you want to be there. The number of cars, that's amazing to see, combined over 80,000 cars, and just knowing the area. So with that many cars being out there and that you could see in a potential day, about how many repairs do you guys average per day?
So we're tracking invoices, not necessarily repairs per day. So let's on the slowest of the slow days between the 3 locations, 8.
Mm-hmm.
That's a dead day. That's like, okay, bare minimum. We paid rent, paid wages. We're good.
Right.
Our best day was 35 in one, 35 customers in one day in those 3 locations, which for us is phenomenal day.
Right.
And it was like, I did alone, I think I had 19 customers one day, and, the rest split up. So it's really, you're hustling.
Yeah. Now you got to hustle if you're going to survive in this, you got to hustle. You got to have a game plan, and you got to know that, hey, it comes with doing windshield repairs. It comes with any business. It's going to have a slow day. You're going to have some busy days. You just got to make it up. You got to make the most of the time that you actually have. So with that being said, in between windshield repairs, windshield repairs is a 10 to 15 minute process. So in between repairs, what are you doing? What's the day looking like for you guys?
So we do Carrie Lynn and I both manage our Facebook account for Regina Chip Repair. Mm-hmm. So, if she wants to post something that's, going on in her neck of the woods, okay, go ahead and post it, or I'll post it. So we're Facebook, Instagram, not so much, we don't do a lot on Instagram, but still enough to have some traffic.
Yeah.
Google, Google's been huge. We always ask the customers at the end of a repair, how did you hear about us? Mm-hmm. Oh, I found you on Google because we were driving by Chip Repair Regina. We pop up, right?
Right.
Or Facebook, you try to build that because, the followers, we do a giveaway once a month, might be supporting restaurants. When it was a time when restaurants were finding a hard time to survive, we would buy a restaurant gift card. So a lot of social media, I'll go back to it, Facebook, Google, Instagram, a little bit on TikTok now because seems to be the trend nowadays, right? Mm-hmm.
And other than that, just getting a really nice suntan.
Yeah, working on our sock tans has been.
There you go. Yeah, nothing's wrong with that, but it's good to be on social media to stay relevant. Sometimes you plant a seed, you might not get a customer in the moment, but they keep seeing you and they're like, oh, what's this company about? And then eventually they want to come check you out or do business with you. So it's good to hear some of the things that you do. I know a lot of people do different things, but you got to always do what works for you and what's comfortable for you. So,
and I'll build on that for a minute, Corey. When a customer comes and you're saying you're planting the seed, you're right. They come, they got a chip, they want to know the price, but they can't do it right now. They saw us there, but they're going to come back. Mm-hmm. Okay, awesome. So we give every customer our chip savers.
Right.
So either we put one on the windshield for them. Hey, we put this on, keep the moisture out. We'll see you when we see you. Mm-hmm. And I bet that's probably a 90% closing rate.
Right.
They'll come back.
Right.
So, which is, adding to what are you guys doing in between those times when customers come by? Yeah.
Right. And that's a good soft sell. You subtly selling them on hey, I'm just trying to help you here. I'm going to put this over it to help you, give you something to remember me by, and then hopes that they come back to you. So it's really good to do things like that to give people, a good impression, because most cases your first impression is your last impression, and to give someone something to remember you off of. So Chip savers is good, social media, but anything that works for you, keep doing is what we try to tell people. But you got to figure out those things, and it's trial and error with a lot of things when it comes to that. So
another thing, since we're talking on social media, I just want to add in one more thing. There's a page here in our city called Support Local. Mm-hmm. And when a customer will post on it saying, where should I get a chip repair done? Mm-hmm. Anybody and everybody can post all the businesses that they feel they should go to. Right. And we get tagged quite often. And what we do every time is we'll thank the friend or the family member who tagged us, but we'll direct message the person who posted asking where to go get a chip repair. We direct message them, we introduce ourselves, we build that relationship right away, and ask them when do you think you can pop by? And honestly, I bet you 9 out of 10 times we get that customer because we made that direct connection rather than having them scroll through 25 names to see who posted whose name. That to us has been a little secret that we keep doing.
Yeah.
Make the effort.
Yeah. Now those things where you got to put the effort into it, but also a closed mouth don't get fed. And the best business card is word of mouth. So when someone tags you, mentions you, you're able to reach out and add that personal touch to it. So that is always really helpful. And good tidbits to give people. So hopefully people picking up, what you're putting down to help them, enhance their business or get started with windshield repair. So we got some of the marketing stuff out talking about, let's just get into windshield repairs. What's like everyone has their own windshield repair process, but what's one of your go-to tools when doing a repair? Like what's something that you use a lot?
Well, like we always have our pop-up tents. We always have our table for our setup and a good chair. And, we always have, of course, our Delta Kits toolbox that's loaded for everything we need. A minimum of 3 bridges. Those are our go-tos, right? But for also too, the chip savers and the business cards. But the biggest thing is too is the branding part. Like when someone rolls up, they see that, oh, these guys are professional. Like you can see the hats, the shirts, hoodies. What we did this year, because it's good, the colder weather, we got, buffs made up. Okay. So all those things, just that when someone rolls up, it doesn't matter if it's, south, north, or east, it's all looks the same. It's all like, there's no, you're not showing up in someone in flip-flops and a muscle shirt. Right. Yeah. Nothing against that. Yeah. That's, if you're doing chip repair in Hawaii, that's, maybe more acceptable. But here, it's just that's how we wanted to set the impression right away. Like you said, that making that impression right away, and it sets the standard of what they're going to get. Yeah. Now that makes a lot of sense. You got to brand yourself and set the expectation of what they see, what they get out of it. When they see professionalism, they see a brand, they see everything is all consistent. That gives them that comfort knowing that I'm at a good spot here. These people aren't fly by night. They know what they're doing. Or they're putting on a great presentation. So presentation is always key with presenting the right way. And it also goes after you present the right way, you have to then explain what it is that you do clearly so people know we do windshield repair and what to expect. So when it comes to that, give me kind of a couple of things that you might say when talking to a customer about windshield repair, like what is windshield repair and what to expect from a windshield repair. Yeah, for sure. It's the biggest thing when someone rolls up, like, they're ticked off. They were just driving along. They already got their car. They heard that, that hit. The kids in the back learned some new words now. None of them are good. Right. Right. So then, oh, that sucks. Right. Yeah, of course it sucks. Even for us, it sucks too, but at the same time, it's their livelihood. Right. And then, how did that happen? They tell us where, and, it's usually the same locations all the time. And then we go on and on. And then we'll do our spiel, like, there's a couple ways the customer can pay for it, Visa, MasterCard, debit, or cash, or if you have a package policy for road hazard glass, then we can bill direct to your insurance company. Oh, I forgot, I didn't even have that. So then it sets that trigger, right? And then, we do our spiel, how much repair, goes about, structural integrity and, making sure, we try to, of course, we like to make it disappear as much as we can, but we can only do so much with what we have. Right. And then, do our repair and, clean the lights, clean the license plate in the back, clean the front lights, because here we get a lot of bugs too in the summer, driving along. And then, at the end, when the repair is done, after our payments all processed, everything else, then that's when we give our chip saver and we talk about that. And we talk about, I always plant the seed of, if you're driving along and you hear something, but you can't see it, always check the black strip of the windshield. Right. And what I mean by that, I'll point to the, by the mirror. And then I'll point, on the side along the frame, and I'll point by the wipers. Oh yeah, I had a chip there and it cracked on me. If you hear it, do yourself a favor, save your windshield, come in as soon as you can, put one of these on it, come in as soon as you can, and we'll try to save your windshield. Yeah, that's what's up. So yeah, that's good points on explaining what you're gonna do and setting the right expectation for what they expect when we finish, and then going over your finished work with them to make sure that the customer is actually happy and cool with the repair. So appreciate you for those little tidbits there. I
think another thing I want to add, Corey, is that when we're done a repair, like we have the same spiel we end with, right? Here's one of our business cards. It shows all of our locations. Here's your invoice, chip saver. We explain that. But we also say when we only hand over that business cards that we're the owner. Right. We own 3 locations here in Regina. My husband's at Southland. I'm here at PB Mart. And honestly, when people hear that, they're like, oh, you're the owner.
Right.
And we've had so many Google reviews because of that. And husband and wife has been a big thing for us. Obviously, that was new last year when I joined the business, but just saying and being proud that you're the owner, people remember that and they feel like they got even better service because the owner did my repair.
The owner did it versus being some regular employee who's just that getting paid by the hour, collecting a check. But I do know what you mean by that. People get a better sense of like, oh, they really took care of me. I'm dealing with the owner. They really are passionate about this, and that people feel good. And nothing's wrong with stating who you are and how you're better in the industry and helping someone. That gives people that more comfort and a better peace of mind.
But I also asked too, like when I'm done, like, oh, so how did you hear about us today? And the customer will say, well, I found you on Google or Facebook. Oh, okay. Well, you know what helps build our business is that if you totally like to, please leave a review on your experience here today, and that helps us grow our business. You know, your friend or family might see your review and then think, you know, oh, maybe we should come and support those guys. Yeah.
I always tell people that, hey, be a friend, tell a friend, whether your experience is positive or negative. We want to get better as a company. So if we did something wrong, tell us so we can make it right for the next time. And if you had a good experience, you know, be a friend and tell a friend. They might have the same issue that you have. So, you know, nothing's wrong with asking for referrals or just putting that on someone's mind to like help me out, you know, with letting the world know what we did for you, especially if you were really pleased with the service.
This year alone, we've seen our reviews like climb, I'd say more than double.
Yes.
Just because of that last spiel that we do of asking for that referral.
Right.
Way more reviews this year than probably the 5 years combined.
Wow. Yeah, so that's good. So when it comes to doing windshield repair, you do repairs, you got the locations. Have you guys ever added on any other services to like generate more revenue?
So the first year or two, I was doing acapella as an upsell, but maybe I didn't have the right spiel to sell more of it, so I just stopped doing it. But instead, we were doing more of washing all the windows, washing the license plate, washing all the lights, you know, giving that service instead. And maybe, you know, that seemed to have been a better, you know, service for people instead of selling them something else that they weren't expecting to buy. They just came in for a chip repair. And to teach his own, everybody has their own business, how they want to run it. But for us, it was just more of building that relationship with the customer and making sure they've had a great experience. Probably was more beneficial to us than trying to sell them something else.
Right.
Yeah, so I think like potential there was maybe more revenue, maybe not revenue that day, but us giving that great service of wiping the windshield, whether you actually came for your trip repair or you're actually coming tomorrow, we would still wipe your window, cleaning the side mirrors, cleaning the rear view mirror. Potentially that could be that added revenue because they just told their friend down the street that they got really great service at Regina Chip Repair.
Yeah. It's like the saying I always give people, you could be the jack of all trades and the master of nothing. So you could be doing a lot of different things, offering a bunch of different services, but not really mastering one of them. So just focusing strictly on windshield repair, knowing everything we're doing here is windshield repair related, helps you focus directly on that and put all your energy and effort into that to actually sell them and leave a lasting impression. So that does make sense. You can make a living off of this by just offering windshield repair. You don't have to add this service, that service, and other service, and it lets you focus on the one thing that you do and let you perfect the one thing that you do really well. So I'd like to appreciate both of you all for your time and for all the insight. I'm sure it's going to be helpful for someone. I always learn something new when checking in with people and talking to them on what works for them, what doesn't work, and just simple things like someone can just pick up from using the chip savers on how it works for you all, and hopefully that information will help someone else. As always, I'm sure it will. We always see comments or hear people comment off hearing something or seeing something that helps. So I appreciate both of you all for your time and your insight.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
All right, no problem. You guys take care.